Unconventional food sources for SHTF. Hey everybody, this is Michael with Asymmetrical Preparedness. I've talked a lot about, and other channels talk about, foraging for wild edibles out in the woods. And that's a very vital skill to have. You can find a lot of food around you, all around you. But I'm going to go a different direction with this one. So make sure you watch the whole video. We got a lot of stuff to talk about. And if you enjoy the content, please subscribe, hit that thumbs up, ring the notification bell, share the videos, and also the stuff I can't talk about here on YouTube, I do talk about on Patreon. That's anything controversial I put on Patreon. Tactical stuff, political stuff, stuff like that, and just a variety of other stuff. So check it out. Links in the description below. It's $1 a month. Well worth it. But let's get into the video. That's the important part, right? That's what we're here for. Unconventional food sources. What made me think, I'm out here playing in the woods with my daughter, and I could hear across the sound somewhere over there are a bunch of sea lions. You know? So I was thinking, you can eat them, right? But most people don't, right? So that's what I'm going with. Unconventional food sources when it comes to animals. Most people would never think of eating a sea lion, but you can. A seal, you can. An otter, beavers. Some people eat beavers. Now, in some of these foods, let me put a caveat on this. Some of these foods are in some people's dietary plan or something. I don't know how to put that. Like otters. Some people do eat otters on a regular basis. And some of these other animals I'm going to talk about, some people eat different areas, different backgrounds, everybody, we all eat different things. That's what I'm getting at. Sorry, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so what am I getting at? I'm thinking, let's start off with like stuff in the water. Like I already mentioned, those three I already mentioned. Then you got whales, you have sharks. Shark is good. Some of it includes, or would be something you fish for. Some of it would be things that you can hunt, like a sea lion or a seal or an otter or a beaver, stuff like that. Hunt or trap. People traditionally trap beavers. But in some cultures, these foods are normal. So raccoons. First off, before I go down the path any further, also, there are dietary constraints due to religious beliefs that some people have as far as animals with paws, they won't eat and stuff like that. And I totally respect that. I totally respect it. I'm not suggesting that anybody break any covenants or any way of life or way of eating that they feel is important. What I'm talking about is just throwing out some ideas in a pure survival situation. Like, you're going to die if you don't get some food to eat. Bears, also. That's a little more common. You got deer, elk, moose. Those are all fairly common. But you got raccoons. You got possums. Yeah, some people eat possums. Even rats and mice. A little more common would be chipmunks and squirrels. Yeah, rabbits. Rabbits in a lot of areas are very, very plentiful. Those are some of the more common things, though. Then you got antelope. You got that's a little more common, of course. People are going to think about things like that. But brainstorm, and there's different animals in every area where you live. So I may not think of some that are where you are, but just thinking about that, I was thinking like Arizona, Texas area, snakes. You can eat snakes. All the different kinds of snakes, pretty much. Then I was thinking, just popped in my mind, Florida, Everglades, alligators, people eat them. Frogs, you got to think outside the box. And I know there's this whole push there's the Meatless Society push, and then there's also, I've seen lately, putting bugs in things and using bugs as protein. It's disgusting. But you can eat bugs. You can. A lot of them are actually very high in protein, but because they're so small, you need a lot of them. And a lot of these situations are things that I wouldn't personally want to eat, but maybe I would have to survive. Another thing, everybody knows, cows, of course. But what about horses? You can eat horses, mules, donkeys. Yeah. Alpacas, emus. There's a lot of things. Birds. Okay, let's go there. Birds. Those tiny little birds, sparrows and stuff flying around. Woodpeckers, the Steller's jays, the crows, seagulls around here. Yeah, you can eat them. I mean, there may be processes you need to go through with some things like bottom feeder fish, where I know that in some cultures they'll eat, the name's escaping me, but it's a very, very, very large bottom feeding fish that my buddy and I remember we used to fish for them off of these bridges. What we used was bows and arrows with the line hooked to them, and they have the barbs that would pop out, so it'd hit the fish, and then you pull it up, and you just pull them up, and we did it for fun. But what we did is, I don't like killing anything I'm not going to eat. I have respect for animals, and I love nature and animals and stuff like that. But what we would do is we knew that there were families that would make good use of them. So what we did is we enjoyed the experience, and then we took the fish to them. And there's something about soaking them in like a big vat of milk or something like that to get the stuff. I don't know all about it. But what I'm suggesting you guys do is look at all the different wildlife in your area and just be aware of what there is out there. I'm not suggesting going and doing this stuff now. A lot of it is, it's illegal, and there's legalities along with it, like whales and sea lions and seals and stuff like that, as well as maybe some of the other animals. But in a complete collapse situation where people are in survival mode, there is a lot of different sources of food out there you may not think about. Like I mentioned, bugs, not a great idea. But, I mean, there's things like moles and varmints and marmots and there's prairie dogs. There's so many out there. I can't go through all of them, obviously, and they all have different areas where they live. But like I said, please do some research, go online, get a book, something like that, how to identify these animals, how to identify their tracks, how to most effectively hunt them, whether it's hunting, whether it's trapping, snaring, fishing, all those kind of things. Get the gear you need for it, at least. And starting practicing legal stuff and making sure that you have the proper licenses and stuff like that right now while we're within rule of law is very important. But having the stuff, identifying what there is out there, what their habitat is, what they eat, how you can attract them, all these kind of things is something that would be a very valuable skill and something to think about and to start setting up now. Because a lot of people say, oh, like I have seeds for my garden, or a garden, and I'll just garden when everything falls apart. Well, no, that's not the best idea, right? We need to be able to practice our skills. So practice as much as you can, or learn as much about it as you can, about these different animals and stuff, like I said, the hunting, trapping, snaring, fishing, all this kind of stuff. And learn it as soon as you can. You don't want to be, there's going to be so much going on when we're in a total collapse situation. You will be learning a lot in that situation, but you don't want to procrastinate things that you can do now when life is easy. We're, day to day, fairly easy, normal, stuff like that. You don't want to complicate your lives when everything's going to be more complicated anyway. So keep it simple. Learn these skills now. There's a lot of prepper skills out there that you can gain. This is the most powerful tool in preparedness. This is the most powerful tool in survival. Your mind, your knowledge, your skill sets, and your abilities. So think about that. Identify these things, please. I love you guys. Have a wonderful day, and blessings to you and yours.